Hi, Jim Vander Schaaf down East Woodard. We're here to film this shop, and you can see in the background some very interesting older tools. And what I'd like to do today is tell you a little bit about the history of what we're doing here. And we're going to film a woodworker who is an expert in his craft. And why am I interested in doing that? Well, back in 2019, I joined this Maine woodworkers group, and I wanted to get out of my shop. When you're in your shop, you're by yourself. It's not lonely, but you are doing solo activities. So it's a good idea to get out and meet a few other people, which I did. And what I was amazed at is the incredible skills that a number of those people had. So about a year ago, I thought to myself, hey, maybe what we can do is capture some of that on video. And then lately talk to David or talk to the mystery guest, whose name happens to be David, and said, would you be interested in doing this? And he said yes. And so what's the purpose? The purpose is to capture the knowledge that these incredible woodworkers have. Some of them have 50 years of experience. It's amazing what they can do and how they've figured out to do those things. And so why would we want to capture it? I mean, put it in the Library of Congress and then forget about it? No. Spread it far and wide, and I happen to have a YouTube channel, which you, my followers, know about, and so that's who we want to display it to. Now, what happens then? Well, if you like this approach, I want you to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell, but more importantly, I want you to tell me and tell us and tell the people that participate in this what you like about it. If you don't like it, fine. If you give us suggestions for improvements, we're all for that. But we want your comments, so please provide a comment down below and you will get a response from us. So, without any further ado, mystery guest, will you please join us? One Clint Eastwood go. All right, so here we are. And this gentleman standing to my left is David Sprague. And David is one of the first guys that I met at the Woodworkers group. And David did a very unique thing, which I always look for in other people. He actually asked me questions as opposed to talked. And I just find that very useful. But the other thing David did is he said after the meeting, he said, Jim, want to come down to my shop? And I thought that was great because, again, here's someone that's reaching out that wants to expose you to something else. So David has an incredible amount of experience, 50 years of experience, and he's done, as you can see in this shop, a lot with the shop. And he is a good friend. He is an educator. He is an organizer of the Maine Woodworkers group. And here we are, David.
Here we are.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you. Glad to have you here.
Oh, good.
Always
good.
good having you at my shop.
Thank
We always
you.
have great conversations.
Good.
Yeah.
So, David, I want to focus on you.
Okay.
You want to talk a little bit about yourself?
6 years old. I'm still working. I have no plans on quitting in the immediate future. I'm still useful. My favorite thing to do is to teach other people and share my information.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So you've been doing this for a while.
Long time. Started as a very, very young guy, playing with wood at the age of 5, built my first workbench at the age of 6.
And somebody asked if you still have that workbench.
No, it's all long gone, but that's a whole other story.
Okay, great. Well, David, this shop is incredible. Can you show us around a bit?
Sure. Obviously, sander, storage, planer, extra planer over there, another drill press over there, dedicated just to doing the holes for hinges, for cabinet doors. Table saw, stop saw, which I recommend highly to anybody that can afford it. I saved my thumb because of that. Everything here is purpose built. I added this. So do wider stock if I wanted to. This slides out, it's an anti-tip device, all very handy.
So David, hold it. What would that be used for?
Cheap goods, but this primarily, I'll put this on here for my what do they call it?
For plywood?
For plywood, but I have a system I use here on this that works very well that way.
Okay,
Since I got the panel saw, I don't use it very much, but it's still here if I want it.
okay, got it,
Okay.
got it.
This accommodates my sled. So,
I see.
okay.
And then a huge upfeed table.
Yeah, it's a big upbeat table with
Legs that drop down automatically. I love it. And I'm sure if I laid a piece of sheet goods on that, it would fit exactly.
it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, for a long time, I just used a stick as a push stick, but I realized one day after one shattered that I shouldn't make them in just regular wood. I make them in plywood. This is the shoe, and it pushes things through by the saw. I have several of them here, and I give a lot of them away. But these work great. I always keep those nearby. And I have these as well. Many of these. This one's about 12 years old.
Wonderful. I love it.
They get a little
love it.
shorter, but.
I love it.
Plywood doesn't shatter. Wood shatters. So these aren't gonna drive back at you with a big splinter. That's why
Yeah.
I made those.
I love them. David, we're next to this thing right here. What the hell is this?
This is my infamous sanding block. It's a 6.5 inch piece of pine, could be hardwood, whatever. I round the edges and I staple several sheets of sandpaper on there. As I need a new one, when these get filled up, I just rip off one and have a fresh one.
So any kind of grit and a flat surface
Yeah,
and
This is
an easy.
always flat and true. It's particularly useful if you think it might be, well, I do a lot of remodeling as well. And in my remodeling, there's often metal in something. I don't want to put my plane on that.
Absolutely.
This is fine. This is a nice
Absolutely.
thing. This is the most stolen tool I've ever had in my existence.
Yeah,
A lot of other carpenters around here have them now.
I'm gonna steal one, David.
Here you are.
Okay,
That's
good.
it.
Thank you. Thank you. This is stealing and then what's this white thing on the back of this?
This is a piece of Formica on the side of the tape measure. Simply done. A little bit of contact cement, pop it on. This is for old guys who can't remember measurements. You write them right down, right then and there. And I have to say, it's 20 years of this.
David, this raises a question. What's the most important thing in your shop?
A sharp pencil and a recliner. So you sit down and think about it.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Where are we going next? This is a big shop.
It is a big shop. It's a project I'm currently involved with. It's a linen closet for some people. She wanted aromatic cedar in the back. Smells nice, it's beautiful. This is all pre-finished plywood, cherry face frame, cherry doors, which unfortunately are going to be painted.
Ooh. But anyway, some clients,
some clients, yep, they're going to be she's very happy.
yeah.
Another table saw over here, not a saw stop. This houses a dado set, and that's all it ever has on it.
So, okay, great. Can you explain it a little bit, David?
Well, if you have a shop space, it's wonderful to be able to have a dedicated table saw and a dado set table saw. You don't have to change blades out. My whole concept here is to be able to move along and not have to back up and do something twice. So I have a pile of routers as well.
How many routers do you have?
I think about 20, I'm not quite sure.
20 routers?
Yeah. So
wow.
There's a router, you're looking at, there's a router table right here.
Yeah.
There's one right there. There's a double one there. There's a double one over there. And there are two small ones over there, including a little teeny one on the floor.
David, is my green face envious?
Well, you can go use them anytime you want.
I love it. There's another measuring. Didn't we just leave that one back at the?
They're all over the place,
Why?
because it's efficient. You don't have to look for a tape measure, and you've gauged them all, so they're all the same, it works wonderfully.
I love it. I love it.
Sharp
I'm always
pencil.
looking for my.
Sharp pencils, tape measures, they're not bent and broken.
The only thing that I saw that was better than that idea is, not better than that idea, but it also a good idea. If you stick this on your belt,
That's why they have a clip.
and then you can measure anything you want, and you just let it go like
Yeah,
that, and
yeah.
that works out pretty well. I use that trick. I'm too cheap to buy as many measuring tapes as you are.
I found a half dozen on sale. I bought a half dozen at the same
Good.
time.
Good.
But you know, a decent tape will save you money. The one that's tired out or not any good will
Yeah,
cost you money.
right.
So for
Absolutely.
the $12 or whatever it costs for tape measure.
I noticed that they all look the same. That's good. Wonderful. So you got a cut-off machine there, or cut-off?
Beautiful old radio arm saw.
Yeah.
It was made probably in the 50s. It's a 12-inch DeWalt, and it was given to me.
Wow.
It sat in the basement here for a little while until I fired it off one day and realized it just hums. It's a beautiful old saw.
Yeah. Great.
It's great for cutting shelving and that sort of thing.
So it looks like you have just a large number of things set up for special purpose cutting, like you've just demonstrated, but I'm looking throughout the shop. You've got different drill press for different reasons.
Yeah. As I said before, this one is just for the hinges for European hardware.
Can
That's
you
all it
can you
does.
show that?
Sure.
Because that's pretty clever. Anybody has struggled with getting these dimensions right, it's the depth. And it's also the distance to this edge for these kinds of hinges. And it has to be exact, or otherwise it's just gonna look like crap and it won't work properly. And so this is special purpose. You didn't have to put in a bit, you didn't have to measure anything, it's all done. That's the nice thing about it. I love it.
Works well.
Table's flat. Great. What else, David?
Well, looking back over this way. My big bandsaw, I really like it a lot. I'm sure there are probably better ones out there, but this has worked very well. It's when I was resawing some wide oak the other day, and it came out beautifully.
Let's see. Oh, wow. Uniform width. That's beautiful. Look at that. Was the board that wide and long?
A little longer, but yeah.
Great. Nice.
This is my door making, my shaker door making router table setup. This cuts, makes this cut a long piece,
Oh, lovely.
and this does the nail, does the tenon
See that?
for the top.
Okay, what do you mean by the tenon for the top, David? What are you talking about? Okay,
This is a tenon
got it.
that slides right into that.
It just fits perfectly.
Usually clamped up, it's what it takes, but yeah, there we go.
So, you know, I think everybody understands, but the setup time required to put these, if you want to get into any kind of production, you have to have this kind of setup, because otherwise you're spending all your time setup
Yeah.
and not getting the job out the door.
And if you made a mistake somewhere along the line, you gotta go way back to the beginning and start all over again.
Because it's all got to be squared up.
So I start out with rough stock. I cut it to rough length, usually 4 inches longer, 2 inches long, whatever. Join it, face join it, edge join it, plane it, and run it through by the table saw.
Right.
Then my stock is pretty well ready to make doors with, or whatever I'm doing.
Okay, so I got it, Mario.
Are you guys having fun?
Yeah, we're
I've never, I should say, I've always had fun with your dad's around.
Oh, that's nice.
What we're gonna do, Marielle, is do a walkthrough, and we're gonna hit about 4 spots that I'll point out,
Yep.
speak for themselves. And then I want David to explain his knife sharpening process in the back.
Awesome.
But because we're here by the table saw, there are lots more goodies here that David can talk about.
I keep.
Why all this stuff, David?
Everything here is for.
Hold it until she's.
Okay.
Oh, I've been videotaping.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Everything here is purpose-built, it's where I need it most often. I have a square here to always check, to make sure my saw is actually true. Says 45s, lots of pencils, tape measures. This is a hold down for when I'm cutting plywood. These are switchable magnets. And with that, I can run plywood here and it holds it toward the fence and down.
Is that something you bought or made?
I bought this back years ago, bought these, but I made the arrangement. A lot of people have them screwed down or whatever. I said, I can't bother with that. This is much more efficient.
That's wonderful, because when you're out here with a 4x8 sheet and you're holding it and you're gonna run it through, you gotta have something that holds that in place. And your eyeball is good to hold it against the fence, but whether something helps you, I love that idea.
Very helpful. This is just a little dust catcher I made, rare earth magnets, hold it in place so I don't get a face full of dust every time I do a certain kind of cut.
Especially when you're making edge cuts.
Edge cuts are the worst. They just seem to breed extra sawdust.
Let's see the magnets again. Cool. Very cool.
And David, this pen, do you use this pen often?
No, I've never used it, but I figured if it was actually true, it would be very short.
Love it, love it, love it.
Good one.
And what about these guys? These guys, what if you have to cut at an angle?
I have some, this is the straight cut, and this is the finished cut. I want to shear the fibers at the bottom of the board, or plywood in particular, and not just have them fuzz out. This will fuzz out a lot of plywood, not necessarily, but it may do that. This one is set up for angle cuts or wider cuts.
Do you ever tape the plywood? Do you ever find that useful, or just a narrow?
I have before, but I find generally with a sharp blade, I don't have to do that.
Got it, got it.
Some plywood I discover is nasty, it needs to be taped and scored,
Yeah,
but that's okay.
Yeah.
I can do that.
okay,
My goal here is to not do extra steps if I don't have to.
I love it. What about these things hanging down here? What's
Well, this
that?
is my extra wall.
Extra wall,
I
I love it.
ran out of wall space I could reach.
Oh, I see,
So I have a homemade compass for big things.
yeah,
These are actually, these things with holes in them are used for drilling holes for shelf pins.
got it.
It's exactly the right size for the shelf pin things that they make.
Shelf pin, hold the shelves up, side of the cabinets.
Yeah.
All right, what's this over here, David? You seem to have, I guess this is self-explanatory here, Mario. Nice place for all the clamps.
Yeah. Again, I had to build another wall.
Another wall. Another wall. And over here, we've got a lot of offcuts that are useful. You don't want to throw away good stuff. Look at the organization. It speaks for itself. Glue, screws, nuts, bolts, tape, etc. A spring-loaded drill.
How many different types of tapes?
Yeah, enough.
Yeah.
Just the right amount.
Usually.
Spring-loaded drill. I love it.
Craig's jig is a wonderful, wonderful invention. I have this, I have an electric one over here that sits on the bench. But every once in a while I have something that's tall, I need to work it here. But when I first got this set up back years ago, I put it up on a bungee cord because I don't have to put my drill down someplace and pick it up again. It's just operate.
Right,
This works great.
right. I love it. I love it.
And everything that has an automatic switch. vacuum cleaner.
There's a vacuum is stuck in it away. Because you don't want that stuff all over the place.
No, it's not that I don't want all over the place, it also ruins your next cut.
Exactly.
So.
And then this in back of you. Another one. Great.
Yeah. Somebody laughed at me when they saw I had two of them. I said, "What do you need two of them for?" I said,
Yeah.
"Well, it's useful for my process."
Exactly.
And now he has two of them.
Yeah. All right, Marielle, just you can take a shot at that table. Again, it speaks for itself.
That table is the same height as my main bench. So if I need an extension or whatever, I have to do something for a bridge, that serves.
Got it. Got it. Love it. When the job is complete, please clean up bench and take care of tools. Do you have to reinforce that with some people? Or?
Not very often. Usually once is enough.
Don't come back unless you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm seeing a lot of stuff over here, Marielle, that's of interest. There's a bunch of rotors.
Yeah. I have a whole pile of routers here. Each one is its own individual cutter, and that way you don't have to change cutters out. You just use the router. Most of these routers are $75 to $125 a piece. Some of them I picked up at yard sales. I've had two of them for probably 40 years.
Great. All right. Did you shoot this bench? Well, you got that? That's well organized and doesn't need a lot of thought. A lot of discussion.
Yeah.
I'd say this is more organized than your shop.
I'd say so too. So, what's this over here, David?
That is my most used tool in some senses. I had a fire in 2007. I lost my house, my tools, everything.
Everything here.
Everything.
Oh, wow.
This didn't exist. I was in an old farmhouse with an old barn. The squirrels were chewing wires. But in any case, after the fire, this is the very first tool I bought. Not the same one, because that one's finally worn out. But this has been very, very useful. I sharpened everybody's kitchen knives.
Okay.
And I sharpened for a local restaurant for quite some time. And as a result of that, they gave me free food.
Great.
Good deal.
Can you show us how you sharpen
Sure.
something?
Oh my.
I know.
Well, first of all, I'm going to clean it up.
Good, please.
Lighting is critical in anybody's shop. If you can't see what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it. Somewhere around here.
Anything. Great. All right. Fine with me.
It's not razor sharp, but it's sharp enough.
Sharpen up.
220 grit is perfect for knives and that sort of thing. I can go up to 600 grit right here. I have a buffing system, which makes it even finer.
Oh, sure.
I'll bring my knives. I'll bring my knives.
Please, oh yeah,
And the fine polish
yeah.
grit. Super.
Yeah, I used to use wheel grinders somewhat, but I don't like them because things bounce on them, they chatter.
Oh, yeah.
And so this is wonderful. This stays flat. I sharpen all my chisels on this. I can take a dead, dull, damaged chisel. Usually less than 5 minutes, I can make it shaving sharp.
David, I noticed that you use it on the flexible portion of the belt.
It just works much better that way. This tends to bounce a little bit,
Okay.
not here.
Got
That's
it.
why I do it that way.
Got it.
Chisels and blade blades are here, knives are here.
Oh, okay.
I sharpen pruners, all kinds of things for everybody.
Nice.
One.
This is my primary working spot in the shop. Doing any handwork or any of that sort of thing, I'm right here. I even have little stools so I can sit down because I'm an old fart. But in any case, I have a bunch of drills, more drills, chisels. Everything is right at hand, so I don't have to reach for it very far.
Wonderful.
I do a fair bit of edge banding on some of the plywood. I have a dispenser set up that I created over here.
Oh, nice.
So you just pull it out, cut it off, and apply it.
Wonderful.
And these are pre-measured little pieces for different functions that I do here in the shop.
Great. Super. Beautiful. Okay, so David, this has been a great tour.
It's been fun.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
I think I could spend about 4 years here. Do you have a cotton back that I could?
I have a recliner, which we'd have to share at times.
Okay, great. No, David, I really appreciate it, and I hope people do. And we asked for comments before, and certainly we want the feedback from you. That's important to us. And David, if the questions are specific to you, should we give them your email address, or how would you like to handle that?
You can do that.
Okay, all right.
I am on Facebook on small woodworking shops.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll include those so people can go directly to David or ask me, whatever. And if you like this one, tell us, because we need to know. Okay, because my idea is that we're going to do several more of these, but only if you like them, only if you find them useful, only if you find them educational. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. And
Have a good
David,
day.
any words?
Have a great day and enjoy woodworking.
All right.
Woohoo.